whatever the front part nail journey. Hi, Grand Duke. You guys have the most interesting, you know what? I am getting like massive glare off my glasses. So, all right, hopefully I can sort of see. Hey, I am seeing some familiar faces. Hi, Kath. How are you? It's so cool that you show up frequently. And I have some fun stuff to talk about today. You know, we've got a... I'm not sure what... You guys are so funny. How fitting I'm doing my nails now. It's pronounced Grant Hudak. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me remember that. Anna, remember that. Remember that. Hi, guys. Hello. I have a question. Is Bounty safe to take? I'm going to guess that you are talking about Biotin. And yes, Biotin is safe to take. It is one of those vitamins. Actually, is it a mineral? Very important part of strengthening your nails as they grow from the matrix. But then so are all kinds of other vitamins and minerals. And here's my feeling about them, because vitamins and minerals have to be taken on the inside in order to strengthen your nails. And so my feeling is that unless you spend a lot of time planning and cooking and preparing, got that backwards, but preparing and cooking really high quality, lots of fruits and vegetables, food, and that takes a lot of time. And so I feel like for the most part, we don't get all of our vitamins and minerals that we need. And so I personally take quite a few of them. Also because I live in the Pacific Northwest, anywhere around the globe, and I don't remember the number, but San Francisco, United States and above, we don't get enough sunlight, so we need vitamin D, and not just the daily recommended allowance. I think that's it. Anyway, we need more than that. So definitely work with your doctor to find out, and you may want to have blood work done to find out if you're deficient in vitamin D. That helps with all kinds of things, including mental clarity. And it, of course, will help your nails as well. So I am a big believer in vitamins, but they've got to be taken from the inside. They don't do anything if they are in a base coat, top coat, whatever, polish. It doesn't matter, because our nails are dead. And so there is nothing that is, no vitamins that is going to actually penetrate your nail plate and, quote, heal it. You can't heal something that's dead. So I hope that one helps. What are my thoughts on Seche Vite top coat? And that is how you pronounce it. Is it safe to use? Oh, this is a good one. Thank you, Kate. Seche Vite and maybe a couple of others have a warning on the bottle that says, this, according to California, blah, 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 this product contains a ingredient that is potentially cancer causing. Keywords potentially. And the other thing is, consider it's Prop 65 in California, and that was passed to protect. It started as a clean to help prevent water from especially smaller towns that have like a big manufacturing company, like petroleum type companies that move into these small little towns, and the byproducts from their water, the byproducts from their manufacturing process leached into the water, and it was making people sick. And so Prop 65 was passed, and that list now has 800 chemicals, and a lot of them are perfectly safe. I wouldn't be surprised if water was on that list. But basically anything in massive quantity you will potentially die from. But let's go back to Seche Vite. So it has that label on there, and what they're referring to is formaldehyde resin. And formaldehyde resin is derived from formaldehyde and some other ingredients. So it's a lot like if you were to bake a cake and you have your eggs and your milk and your oil and your baking mix, your cake mix for those of us who are not bakers and a little lazy and want to get it done. Anyway, so you've got all of these components, and yes, they all have a chemical structure. And so you take these components and you mix them together, and you no longer have those separate ingredients. Now you have a cake. And that's what happens with formaldehyde resin. You've taken formaldehyde and other ingredients, combined them, and now you have a resin. And resin is what makes our nail polish get hard. It's a combination of resins and pigments and dyes and solvents. The solvents keep it liquid, and then as they evaporate, the resins harden, and that's your polish. So Seche Vite is perfectly fine. It's not dangerous. It's a stupid label that California requires, and California is a big state, a lot of money there, and so in order to sell in California, they are required to put that notice. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's idiotic. Come on. I could throw in some curse words too, but it's perfectly fine. And when Seche Vite is fresh out of the bottle, it works great for me, but as I start to use it more, the solvents evaporate too fast, and so then it thickens for me. And when it gets thicker, what happens is as the solvents are evaporating, it causes the resin to shrink a little bit for me. Other people don't have this problem at all. So for me, it causes tip shrinkage, and I just don't like that. So people will ask me, what's my favorite top coat? And it is this one. It's inexpensive. You can find it at drugstores. It dries quickly. I've been really happy with this one. But I know you guys all have your favorites, and what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for another person. And the reason is mainly because of your weather. And it's just how fast those solvents evaporate, depending on how warm you are, warm your house is, how much humidity you have, all of these things. Like when I went to Maui and I tried to polish my nails outside, they bubbled like crazy. And what happened was it was warm outside, and so the top layer of the polish hardened, and then I had all of these solvents trapped inside, and so it caused bubbles because the solvents have nowhere to go. Okay, man, I started talking fast. I love it when you guys ask questions super fast. Okay, let me scroll back up here. Let me do a couple. We've got a good number of people now. Let me do some housekeeping. One, I am not here to sell you anything. I am the owner of Bliss Kiss, and we have amazing nail products, and I created these products to solve my own problems, and in doing so, my feeling is that I'm solving your problems. But I am foremost the author of nailcarehq.com, and my passion is to make nail care advice truthful, because there's so much bad advice on the internet, and you really just kind of don't know who to trust, and it's hard to find really good information. So that I started that for me. My journey was to figure out, why are my nails peeling? Why does my polish keep chipping in the shower? All of these things. How do I make my nails stronger so that they will grow longer? And I discovered that nail hardeners were not the solution. What they did is they made my nails too hard. And when I banged them into things, they broke. And they usually broke right at the quick. Very painful. So I'm pretty sure I completely am off chart. Let's see. So, okay, I'm not here to sell you anything. I've written over 80 articles at nailcarehq.com. So if you have any questions, anything that you want to know that I don't get to on a live, just Google nailcarehq.com and whatever issue you're wanting to solve, strengthen nails, peeling nails, yellow nails, is acetone a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Which, by the way, it's a very good thing. All of those things, if you Google that, you will find answers. Most likely I've written an article about it, and if I haven't, email me, and I will put that in the queue of things to write about. So this week's article, oh, I have to finish it up. I hope to have it finished by tomorrow, is actually about the Russian manicure. And probably a lot of you haven't heard about it, but some of you have. It's a scary new technique that started, I don't know if it started in Russia or others. It's a lot of countries are calling it the e-file manicure, I think, but I'll talk about, actually Doug is going to be talking about that. I'm publishing one of his articles, so that's going to be very, very informative. And to cut to the chase really short, bad idea. They're very, very dangerous, so you'll want to read that article. Also, some more house rules is be nice, no swearing, no saying anything horrible about me. Don't curse at me. I am just trying to give good information. Especially it's important to me because we have young children who are on, and granted I know a lot of young children swear, but that doesn't matter. I want to keep it PG. Let's see if I've got some questions before I get into the ones. I love this. Kath says, hello, young lady. Thank you. Thank you. Not young, but young at heart, right? Seche, Vite, I talked about that. Hey, my nails top layers peel. How do I fix that? The best way to fix peeling nails is to use a high quality jojoba based wax, or jojoba wax ester based, sorry, it's a big long word, nail oil. And so if you Google, I could talk about it for a long time, but if you Google nailcarehq.com and strengthen brittle nails, you will be taken to my most popular article that answers that question. But that's the main solution, is you need nail oil to penetrate the nail plate, and it increases the, as Doug calls it, plasticity of the nails, which basically makes it stronger but more flexible also. So when you whack it into something, your nails are going to bend and they won't break. Let's see, somebody says, I'm type 1 diabetic. Does that have any effect on my nails? Excellent question. Yes, it does. Anytime that we have a health issue, our body's response is to protect our internal organs. That's where all the energy goes first, that of the food that you consume. So our body goes, well, nails, not quite so important. And so your matrix will create thinner nails. So for people who have very thin nails like myself, nail oil is huge, and also 5 layers of nail polish. And that's my Fab 5 wrap. I came up with that because when I wanted to learn how to get my nail polish to stop chipping in the shower, I realized that I was polishing the front, which was preventing water from getting in my nails on the front side. But I realized, oh, it's getting in and it will penetrate all the way through from the underside. And what that was doing was breaking the polish to nail plate bond. And so I realized if I wrapped my tips with base coat and top coat, then that didn't happen. And so that's how I came up with the Fab 5 wrap. So basically it's 2 coats of base coat, of a ridge filling base coat, and 2 coats of color, and 1 coat of top coat wrapped around. Don't wrap the color because it's a freaking nightmare to try and get it out. And so you basically have encapsulated these tips with 8 layers of polish. You got 5 on top, 3 on the bottom, and that makes your nails, that gives your nails temporary strength. That's really, really important. That's how I'm able to keep mine longer. Okay. Not seeing huge. I like your nails. Thank you. I do too. They're a lot shorter now that I have horses though, so Let's see. Okay, let me get into some of the questions that people have asked me either on Instagram or through email. I'm going to hit a few of them today at this one, and then I'm also doing another live at 4 o'clock, and so I'll hit some more of those questions. So somebody asked me, how do I store my polish? And considering I'm up probably to 1,000 bottles. I don't even want to count. I just don't. Anyway, I used to store them by color. And I had them all. I had these teeny little shelves that I had my husband build and install on my wall, and I had like 5 shelves, and I put them all out in color. Oh, it was a beautiful, beautiful rainbow, because I started with the reds and I moved on all the way to the purples at the end, and then the blacks and the browns. And anyway, what I discovered as I started getting into skitolette manicures, and that was started by Marta Wortmez. I don't know exactly how she, anyway, she used to have, her blog was Chit Chat Nails, and she was just the queen. She created the skitolette manicure, which is basically, you've got, she did it like as in and wearing your outfit. So these 2 nails were plain, a plain color, and 1 plain color. Then these 2 nails were potentially a different, usually a different color with nail art. So it was like the pants or a plain skirt, and then like a blouse, and then the pinky was either glitter or texture or something, and that was the jewelry, that was the bling. And so when I started doing those kind of manicures, I was like, okay, I need teal, I need pink, I need gold or hollow, and I couldn't find them. I couldn't find the ones exactly that I wanted. So then I switched it all back to, I organized them by brand in drawers, and then while I was healing from abdominal surgery, I swatched all of them on little swatch sticks, and now I have those hanging. I actually have them hanging on a hanger, and I have 2 of them, and I'll try and remember to bring those next week so you can see. But it's magical, magical rainbow seeing all of those. But what it makes it so that I can go, okay, this is a color that I want, this color, and I've labeled them all, so now I can go find, if it's Milani 462, I can go find it. Because, and a lot of them only have names, and so I have little dots, and I've given them, either they're like, I've used their code number that's on the bottom or the side, and if they didn't, then I just made up a number. Okay, let's go with, I think Miss Chloe Michelle had asked me about why her nails had suddenly started peeling, and I talked about peeling a little bit earlier, but when you're doing your manicures and all of a sudden you take off your polish or whatever, and you're like, they suddenly started misbehaving, then what I would do is go back and look at what happened in your life 4 to 6 months ago, because it takes, for most people, it takes about 4 months for your nail to go from your cuticle line all the way to your tip. And so what happens is, when you start getting stressed, whether it's starting school or you got a divorce or you got married, I mean, even good stress, you got a new job, any of these really big things will affect how your body functions. And again, when you're stressed, your body is going to protect its core, and it's going to deliver less nutrition to your matrix. And so therefore, it starts producing nails that are thinner, and even maybe you might find that you get more ridges, so actually the grooves in between, but you'll get more of those, and that's because there's little sections of your matrix that aren't functioning at high, full capacity. And so, so then you can find, it's like 4 months later, you're like, what suddenly happened? Anyway, I apologize for the weed whacker. But anyway, hopefully you guys can all hear me okay. Let's see, some of you are being very nice at kind of helping to clean up the feed of, yeah, if you can't be nice, please go away. I think you mentioned a comment, but I'll say it again. I called your company and got James, I believe, and he was very nice in helping me and understanding my problem. And I was there for that phone call, and I just love listening to James because he's so kind and he's so patient and he's so helpful. Um, he has once or twice been on the phone for an entire hour helping not even a customer yet, a potential customer. And that's what we believe with our company is we are going to take care of you no matter what. And our mission is to create exceptional products with a life-changing customer experience, or actually life-changing products with an exceptional customer experience. And we stand by that. And so we want everybody to be happy, even if that means a refund. So thank you for that. Links for how to refill your Bliss Kiss oil pen. If you go to YouTube, there are several videos that people have done, and I will give the disclaimer of they are sold to us as a single-use item, but it is possible to take them apart and refill them most of the time. Since they're a single-use item, they could bust and just come up, yeah. But then we've had people who refilled them like 13 times. So it just depends on the pen. Some are great, some are not. So hopefully that helps. How do you prevent hangnails? Taylor Fanny. How do you prevent hangnails? Don't, the easiest way is, I think, don't do anything. The problem is that we just live life and your hands are doing stuff all of the time. And so we're rubbing against fabric, against all different kinds of things. And so if the skin is dry, it can cause hangnails. It's weird because the shredding skin kind of stuff, that to me, I don't know why we call them hangnails, because the nail is not involved in any way. But if you get a piece of your nail can actually on the sides, it can splinter and splinter off. And to me, that's what would be a real hangnail, is where the nail is actually slightly splintering off. And then you just clip it with small infant clippers. So I like infant nail clippers the best because they're tiny and they're sharp and they get into that spot where you can clip in even dead skin in here. I don't know why, but I tend to pick at those and I don't know why we get them. But anyway, I use infant nippers to just get in there, nip the skin that has lifted, but not so much that you grab live skin, because that's when it starts to get infected and bleed and blah. So be very, very careful. What is the best way to keep your nails not orange after taking polish off? Don't wear polish, which I highly don't recommend. You need to wear polish. The pigments, and for some people it's more of an oranger tint, but for most people it's kind of a yellow tint. And a lot of people, if they see your nails, they're like, oh my God, you must be a smoker. Well, no, that's not true. There are lots and lots of different pigments and dyes that are in polish. And one of the biggest ways that we actually cause more staining is by how we remove the polish. Most people will get a cotton ball and they'll scrub it this way and this way. So let's think about that. If you're dissolving polish and now you've got all of these pigments are now loose. And what are you doing? You're driving those pigments into your nail plate. That's the top surface layers. And so it's going to cause staining. And then what people want to do is, oh my God, they're stained, and now I need to buff that off. I cannot stand that advice. It makes, and here's why. Here's why you do not want to buff it off. Because most of us have ridges, or a little bit, even the younger people, they may. But what's happening is little sections of your matrix are not functioning at high capability, highest whatever. And so the ridges are the thickest part of your nail. It's the grooves in between that are not thick, that are thinner. And so what are we doing when we're buffing our nails? We're taking the thickest part and we're sanding that off to meet the thinnest part of our nails, and then we wonder why they peel and they crack and break because we've done that to ourselves. So I do not recommend buffing your nails at all. Never, never, never. But my daughter just painted her nails blue. It's beautiful, beautiful turquoisey blue. And she didn't wear a base coat. And she took them off and her nails were blue. Like, oh, okay, you're going to cover that up. We're not going to worry about the fact that they're blue. You're going to just pick another beautiful color, cover that all up. It's fine. Well, it's felt so funny because she's my only daughter, and it took her till she was 19 to start getting interested in nail polish. I'm like, seriously? I have so much nail polish. It's like 15 stores and you don't care about nail polish. Anyway, she finally did. She's never learned how to properly remove the cuticle or push back her proximal fold of her eponychium. So I taught her how to do that, and we were using cuticle remover. I actually had her use this one because it's my favorite one because it's a gel. I like it because it's thicker and it keeps it, it's a lot easier to not get it on your skin. You do not want it to touch your live skin. Only the dead skin that's on your nail plate. And that actually is your cuticle, is the dead skin that's on your nail plate. So anyway, she was removing the cuticle, put this on, let it sit, and then as she was removing it, it was taking the blue with it. How fantastic is that? So anyway, cuticle remover helps with crazy blue, purple, pink, red staining. Kate says, I swear every time I get my nails done professionally, they end up peeling and they don't look that good. I always do my own nails because I'm such a perfectionist. Kate, you and I are kindred spirits. Yeah, I won't go to a salon, but that doesn't mean that going to salons is a bad thing. What it does mean is we have to be very, very, very careful about choosing our nail professional. And I will say that there's a difference between a nail tech and a nail professional. And at least to me, in my mind, a nail tech is somebody who may or may not be licensed, usually is working at a shop where they do not speak English. And what happens is because they are not licensed, what they do is the senior person will teach the next senior person, who then teaches the next senior person. And it just goes down the line, and everybody has their own techniques, and it's like, oh, remember when we were kids and playing the game of telephone? We're all sitting in a little circle and somebody starts with a sentence and then goes all the way around the circle, and then the last person says what they think the first person says. It's kind of like, and it's hysterical. If you haven't ever played that game, do it. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So that same thing happens with those kind of salons. But what happens with a nail professional is they're licensed, and if you go in to the salon and you say, how do you remove the cuticle? And if they show you this, let me do this all different ways so you can see it through the writing. If they show you this, run. Run as fast as you possibly can, because there is no way to clip the cuticle. Physically impossible, because the cuticle is the dead skin that's on your nail plate. So the only tool, let me find it, hold please. I need a bigger box. Anyway, I'm not finding it real quick here. But we need to very, very gently scrape the cuticle off the nail plate. So if they show you these nippers, what they're going to do is cut your proximal fold, which is the live skin that we have the entire planet has been taught that this is the cuticle. Completely wrong. That is the proximal fold of the eponychium. It is live skin. It is a guardian seal. It keeps bacteria and germs out of your nail matrix, which is right here. And everybody has a different size matrix, so I can't tell you, okay, it's right here. But anyway, if they bring out this, they are going to cut your live skin. Leave. leave right away. A nail professional is going to be up on her education. She is going to be going and going to OPI and all of these different symposiums that are put together by the professional suppliers, and they're going to learn how to use the products properly, and they are going to teach you stuff about your nails. Anybody who does not speak English is obviously not going to teach you about your nails. So it's very, very important that you find a nail professional, and she won't come cheap. She or he. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but anyway, she or he will not come cheap. What percentage of jojoba is contained in my oil? That's kind of proprietary, can't tell you, but it is the first ingredient. And the reason that it's very, very important is because under the microscope, jojoba looks almost identical to body oil. And I have pictures of that on the website. Since your nail bed, which is the pink part underneath your nail, since your nail bed is able to push the perfect blend of body oil and moisture in your nail plate, keeping it plasticized, keeping it flexible, because if it didn't, your nails would shrink on your nail bed and be horrifically painful. So our body's response is, let's keep that nail plate soft. And so since jojoba under the microscope looks almost the same, it can actually penetrate the opposite direction. But what's interesting is, and I call out my best friend and my mom again, both of them, when I first started the business, they were like, oh, Anna talks about jojoba all the time. Well, I've run out of her oil. Let me go get just a straight bottle of jojoba. They both came back to me in like 2 weeks, and they were like, it doesn't work the same. Why? Why doesn't it work the same? I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that there is this synergistic blend that happens with the different oils. And I think with positive and negative electrons, it helps pull the larger oil molecules into the nail plate. And so then you get a completely different plasticizing effect. So you really definitely want to look for something that says jojoba or jojoba wax ester on the label as the first ingredient. And the reason that companies don't do this is because jojoba is incredibly expensive. So they go with significantly less expensive oils like apricot oil, almond oil. They're good oils. They just don't work as well. They won't penetrate as well. Oh, this is a good one. Microwaved mustache, which cracks me up. Your name cracks me up. Don't microwave your mustache. Anyway, sorry. My nails and cuticles swell up and get red. What is it caused from? It could be all kinds of things. It could be different cleaning chemicals that you're working with. I would have to ask you, I have a list of like 18 questions if you want to email me. That would help me answer your question better. But it's something that I really have wanted to address is if you get any nail oil that has vitamin A, which is retinol. So we're familiar with using retinol in skin creams that get rid of wrinkles. There are a fair amount of people who are allergic to vitamin A and they don't even know it because you can consume it, but then when it's on your skin, for some reason it has a reaction and doesn't like it. So if you have a nail oil that has vitamin A, including ours, and you start using it and your skin feels drier and it starts getting red and irritated and even potentially gets those shredding hangnails, that means you have a vitamin A allergy, sensitivity, however you, anyway, if you have it with our oil, just email us and we will replace your oil with a vitamin A free version. We have a handful of customers that we do that for. So we don't do it a lot because my team wants to come up with all these different oils and I'm like, y'all can't do that because we have to have a machine for each one. And if we don't, then they have to be hand filled, which is why our seasonals are only available for a short time, because those are hand filled, whereas we have filling machines for crisp, fragrance free, and vanilla. So that's why. But microwave mustache, if that is not the reason, then email me and I'll see if I can help you. Kate Davis, how often do you paint your nails? As little as possible. I'm one of those people who likes to get 7 to 10 days out of my manicure. When did I do this one? I tend to do them on Friday. So this is now, tomorrow will be 7 days. And I have the teeniest, I don't know if you can see this, teeniest tiny bit of tip wear, and mostly on my right hand because that's my dominant hand. So this is the one that's digging in and grabbing things all the time. So the Fab 5 wrap is huge, huge in terms of getting my manicure to last longer. And especially if I do nail art, then I really want it to last longer because I've spent an extra hour making them even prettier. So usually about once a week. Yeah, because I'm kind of busy writing articles and doing Instagram lives, which are fun. I like doing these. I really like connecting with you guys. How can I make my nails grow faster? Excellent, excellent question. There are 3 scientifically proven ways to make your nails grow faster. Get pregnant, number 1. Number 2, move somewhere warm. And number 3, damage your nail. So for those of you who are nail biters, your nails will be growing faster, but you won't know it because you're shortening them just as fast as they're growing. And then for those of you who live in warm climates, not going to make them grow any faster. And the reason that they grow faster in warm climates is because your body is warmer, and so you're getting a lot more blood flow to your matrix, and that helps your body create stronger nails and grow faster. And of course, if you get pregnant, which certainly is not an option for our male followers, and not an option for a lot of women, is that those hormones help everything grow. That's basically, it's helping your baby grow, so it's going to help everything grow, including your waist size. But as soon as you deliver the baby, within a couple of weeks, you're gonna that stops, and then you're gonna see that in about 4 months is that, well, now my nails aren't as strong as they used to be. So Nails by Nemi says, can the hyponychium grow and change how long your nail beds are? My pinky's nail bed is always longer than the other pinky. Great question. You actually don't want the hyponychium to grow. And the hyponychium, for those of you who don't know, so this area that covers the matrix is the eponychium. And then the opposite side, where the nail leaves the nail bed at your fingertip, that is the hyponychium. So that's another guardian seal. So we've got 4 guardian seals. This one, the eponychium, we've got the hyponychium, and then we've got the lateral side walls. And those all protect the nail bed and the matrix. So you don't want your hyponychium to grow, and I think you're asking the question because you want your nail beds to look longer. Unfortunately, where your body has determined that your nail leaves the nail bed and becomes your free edge or your tips, you have no control over that. So, and the other thing I did learn from Doug Schoon, author of Nail Structure and Product Chemistry, which is my nail Bible, and I also happen to be friends with him. So what he just told me was, for those of you who are nail biters, if you've just started and you're doing it for maybe a couple of years, it is possible that when you stop biting your nails, the nail will resume as it grows out. It will move back to that normal spot. But if you've been biting your nails for a significantly long time, a lot of years, decades, you have probably permanently damaged it, and that is where your nail plate will leave the nail bed. So, and unfortunately, the nail beds that you get is what you get. So I hope that helps. Is it unhealthy for your nails when you paint them very frequently? No, it is actually a good thing. And the reason that you ask me for unhealthy is because of all the myths. And one of the biggest myths is your nails need to breathe. Your nails do not have lungs. They are dead. From the minute they leave your matrix, from the minute they leave past there, they're dead. And there is nothing you can do to, no vitamins, no nothing, to make them go live again. It's just like your hair. Your hair is dead. We just have learned have products that can help from, oh, this is good. So we have products that help your hair from drying out and getting horribly damaged so that a lot of us can have longer hair. Otherwise, it just would all keep breaking and we'd have shorter hair. But we have products that help us keep our hair softer and more flexible. And so oil, a good quality jojoba wax ester based nail oil, is going to do the same thing. Sorry, I got a phone call. People stop calling me. So I've learned that it's extremely, extremely powerful, especially when I learned how damaging water absorption is to the nail plate, because it can absorb 1/3 its weight in water. There's only two things that the nail plate can absorb, water and body oil. And since, like I was talking earlier, since jojoba wax ester is technically not an oil, it's an ester, and part of our body oil is esters, it actually penetrates the nail plate and helps plasticize it, keep it more flexible. So for me, and this is what I learned, is that when you wear polish, it creates a water resistant barrier. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. And it makes it very, very hard for water to penetrate into your nail plate. So what it does is it protects your nails from that water absorption that causes all of those layers to separate and to then peel. Okay, Christina says, I just looked up the Russian manicure, and it's just really small tools that remove the cuticles for a cleaner look, but while they're doing that, might be also filing the nail. Okay, so this is what people believe. Oh, smaller tip, that can't be nearly as damaging. Yes, it is. And the reason is because our skin is not supposed to be filed. And yes, you can be damaging the nail, especially because they are going to be removing the cuticle with a file. I don't see the point, because you can't not hit the nail plate, which is going to thin the nail plate. So what they're also doing is filing down the lateral sidewalls, and they're also filing the proximal fold of the eponychium, and that's incredibly dangerous. It's opening up all of this area for infection, and germs and bacteria will get into underneath the proximal fold, and that guardian seal can be broken. And once germs and bacteria get into your matrix, it can potentially damage your nails forever. And once your matrix is damaged, it never ever changes. You can't undo the damage. So many people are saying that it's safe, but here's the biggest thing. It is called microdermabrasion, and you have to have an esthetician's license in order to do it. So everybody's doing it illegally unless they have that esthetician license. So it's not a good thing. And Doug is talking about, it has the potential to destroy the salon market. It's destroy. I mean, they're already, the salon market is under, the salon industry, is already under tons of scrutiny because of the products that are the ingredients that are in gel and acrylic, which are perfectly fine. I could go into I could spend 2 hours just on gel and acrylic. I forgot where I was going. Let me go back. Talking about that Russian manicure, I think it was. So it's just, it's incredibly dangerous. And you don't want to be buffing any of your skin. It's not good. It's just not good. What is the proper way to file your nails? Ah, love this question. However makes you happy. What is the proper nail file? Whatever makes you happy. I personally will use a 180 to 240 grit cardboard file if I really want to buff down length fast. And then I will go finish the edges with my crystal nail file, which is about 600 grit. They don't tell you what the grit is, but that's about what it is, because it's sandblasted crystal, and that's what creates the texture. And this is the other cool thing is, you guys, you do not have to file. This is another thing that's been going around for a long time. You do not have to file one direction of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You don't have to do this anymore. Doug Schoon, who I mentioned earlier, for those of you who were not at the beginning, he's the author of Nail Structure and Product Chemistry. And he went and took his electron microscope and looked at nails that had been filed in a seesaw manner, and then ones that had also been filed one direction and one direction. He saw absolutely no difference, which made me so happy because I have been seesawing my entire life since I was like 12. That made me very, very happy. Oh, I'm 14 and male. I do paint my nails. I have a lot of ridges. I love them though. Yay! Yay! We need more of the male market. I think there's such a ginormous stigma and it drives me nuts. But you know, just like all progression, eventually we'll get there. But the interesting thing is how quickly it was accepted with the people who dressed and goth, and had the really dark makeup, and they were always wearing black polish, and that was accepted. So we're getting there. People think it's weird that men are wearing polish, but you know, we're eventually going to make progress. So those of you who are male, keep it up. Anna, have you ever thought about doing the nail clips for the toes? Yes, I am thinking about that. I'm trying to figure out if it's a big enough market, but I have thought about doing it. And so for those of you who don't know about our nail clips, oh, life-changing, life-changing. So I'll explain this. So the very best way to remove your polish, remember I was talking earlier about scrubbing, bad idea? Well, what we want to do is dissolve the polish and swipe it off as quickly as possible with one stroke. Okay, so what you do is you take a piece of cotton and you saturate it, like almost dripping. Saturate it with rubbing alcohol. Good Lord, woman. Saturate it with acetone. And then you let that piece of cotton sit on your nail for about a minute, and then you go like this, and it swipes right off. So that's my soak and swipe technique. But acetone dissolving or acetone evaporating is incredibly cold. I feel like I stuck my fingers in ice, and I don't like it. So when I came up with these nail clips, when I started testing them, they're created for gel, but I was like, I needed to take my polish off. And so I thought, well, I'll just try it over what I was already doing, this soak and swipe. And so I thought, well, I'll try these clips. And what happened was, acetone, when it's warmed up, it's more effective. And so the body heat was actually warming up the acetone and trapping it in here. And so it was dissolving the polish even faster. And my fingers were warm. And what's amazing is that I was able to do, so I do one finger, and by the time I get to my thumb, then usually, unless it's glitter, if it's just normal polish, this one's completely dissolved. And you can open it up and check, and if you can see the pigment that's coming through the cotton, then you know it's ready to swipe. So I literally will go like this, swipe, this, swipe, 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 done. Life-changing, you guys. Absolutely life-changing. And then you can move on to the new manicure, right? Somebody says Marta Warmas. She's in Canada and she's amazingly talented. And I was so bummed she couldn't afford to keep her website going. And she just had, oh God, she must have had a couple of hundred of beautiful skittlette manicures. They're gone, but you can still find a lot of her really cool designs in her Instagram account. cuticle remover not damage the nails or skin? Great question. It does damage your skin. The active ingredient that works for cuticle removers is because what we're wanting to do is dissolve human skin that is on the nail plate. And for those of you who don't know what the cuticle is, it is that skin that happens on your nail plate, and the easiest way to see it is on your toenails. Because most of us, unless you're going for a regular pedicure, we're not taking care of our toenails as well. And so all of that dry skin that's on the nail plate, that is the cuticle. And so polish doesn't stick to skin. So we want to remove the skin that's on your nail plate. And the best way to do that is with cuticle remover. But it contains lye. Lye is doesn't care whether the skin is dead on your nail plate or live back here. And so what you really want to do is make sure that it does not touch your skin, because if it does, what you're going to notice is that over the next 48 hours is that you're going to get those little shredding hangnails, and that are incredibly painful and get infected very easily. So the way to prevent that is then to use a latex barrier, and that is how I created Simply Peel. It was not for the whole nail art, although that's a fun side benefit. But I created that so that we could protect that live skin from the cuticle remover. And I do have a video on YouTube of how to properly remove the cuticle, and I explain all of that and show you everything. So if you go to youtube.com/C as in channel /Bliss Kiss, you'll find all of our videos, and I'm actually working on dictating all of the 80+ articles that I have on the website also, so that you guys can listen to those as you're doing your nails. Polish Nicole says your cuticle oils has helped my nails a lot. Thank you so much. The advice has also been helpful, has helped a lot, which improved my nails. They are finally strong and long after my biting habit. And that's what it's all about for me, is so many people are so frustrated with their nails, and I want everybody to be able to go, I get to choose how long I want my nails to be. I get to file them down. Not to say that breaks and chips don't happen, but they just happen a whole lot less. What causes nail ridges? It's actually not what causes nail ridges. The nail ridges are the healthy part of your nails. So if you think of two mountains right next to each other, okay, you've got a valley in between, which has more dirt, the valley or the mountain? The mountain does. So you have more nail cells on the ridge. What's happening is that there's small sections of your nail matrix that are not functioning at highest capacity. And so those small sections are making nails that are thinner. And so what happens is you get these grooves, and that's actually, so when we file down the ridges, we're filing down the thickest part to match the thinnest part. And then we get really upset when they break and peel all the time. And we're doing this to ourselves. So what you want to do is find a good ridge filling base coat so that it has all these microparticles that settle into the grooves and then smooth out your nails. I am using your nail oil to recover my healthy nails. Do I need to refrain from using nail polish? Only for the first 3 days. That is the 3-day hydration challenge. You can find that, the instructions on our webpage, and so at myBlissKiss.com, and you can also find it at nailcarehq.com. And so only for 3 days, because you're constantly fighting the oil and the water. When you wash your hands and stuff, they're fighting each other. And unfortunately, water and soap usually win. So as soon as you've got enough oil in your nails, you want to get polish on to trap that oil in there. Oh, Rhea says, sorry, Anna, the reason I asked is because I'm beginning to see other jojoba-based products on the market. What is it that makes Bliss Kiss different? Love. I'm sorry, that's actually, it kind of is, but it's actually the ingredients. And also we've written love on every big mixing bottle that we have, and it focuses us on that positive energy and sending that out into the universe. And but there's a lot of, this is the interesting thing, you guys. Before I started, there was not one product that had jojoba as its first or second ingredient, including solar oil by C&D. And that's the big one that has, like, they have, they are most loved by the salon industry. But when we've had some salons who have tried ours and they've been loyal to solar oil, they said it's like comparing apples to oranges. It's just so different. And can I say why it's different? I can't. I really don't know why. And when I first started the business, I just figured it was another oil blend, and it wasn't a big deal. Although I had done a lot of research to figure out what makes a nail oil work really well and what ingredients are going to work. I studied all the DIY recipes. I studied all of the commercial products and what their ingredient lists were, and then I did a whole bunch of research on all the oils, and I just picked and chose ones, and I've only added one more ingredient, but otherwise the recipe is the same. So yeah, people started copying me. That's what's happened. So oh my gosh, you guys, I have 1 minute and 48 seconds. So basically, try it. If you like it, great. If you don't, we stand by our 100% money back guarantee. Some people have a thicker oil, and depending on where you live and the type of skin you have, you may like a thicker one. Ours is very light and soaks in very quickly. So okay, 1 minute and 24 seconds. If I did not get to your question, either please come back at 4 o'clock or email me so that I can get your question answered right away at the beginning. And also, so you know, guys, if you missed parts of this or you miss an entire live, they will show up a week later on YouTube. And the great thing is James has made sure that each of the topics, he's listed them, and he's got direct links so you can hop to the exact topic that you want to know about. Massaging your matrix regularly will definitely, a lot of people have said that helps their nails grow faster. And what are you doing? You're increasing the blood flow, you're warming the matrix up. So that's kind of similar to moving somewhere warm. Okay, 35 seconds. Do I have a blog post with nail terms? Yes, nail anatomy. Look for that one. Okay, you guys, I have 24 seconds. Why does my matrix look dry even though I have been using your oil? Your matrix can't look dry. There has to be. Your matrix is under your epinicium. So, okay, you guys, I am so sorry that I'm not able. Hey, it's Anna. I've written over 70 nail care articles that you can find at nailcarehq.com. And if you're looking for products that will help you have longer, stronger nails, visit myblisskiss.com. Be sure to push the subscribe button and turn on notifications to get alerted when I publish more videos. This is Anna, signing off and sending you bliss.